Heyo. Did we remember to unmute ourselves?
Did you guys rock out and sing backstage?
Sorry, I'm kidding. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I was dancing. I was dancing backstage. I was dancing. It's my jam. That is my complete jam.
Mine too. Hi, everyone.
Hey, y'all. How did you like the first episode of House of the Dragon? Are you as hype as we are? And just to let you know, we are finally monetized and we are accepting super chat. So send your questions through. We lit.
Yes, and again, just huge thank you to all of you guys and your support for getting us there. We are officially monetized. So yeah, hit that super chat button and help out your girls so we can answer some questions. We have a lot of you guys here in the chat. So I guess a couple quick hellos to start off. We got John Lang here. Hey John. Also we'll kind of jump on what John's probably gonna say, but Nim, do you want to plug the book club?
Yes, we have a Discord for it started out as GrayArea's channel, and I kind of do all the stuff in there now. We have tourneys, we have book clubs, we have all kinds of fun stuff. Come hang out with us there. One of the mods who is also in the Discord, could you drop a link in the chat for me, please? We have book club every Monday and Thursday at, now I'm forgetting, oh no. At
that's my
not canon.
I know.
It's like that's not canon.
I know, right? MJ, what have you done to me? I think it's at 8 Eastern. Am I right? John, help me. John,
I believe
Kiki
and Josh. Oh, Josh is here. Yes,
or
Josh,
Kiri, not Kiki. Sorry, Kiki.
Kiri.
Oh, we got our first super chat.
Yes, we do. Oh, hold on, let me bring it up. We have Count Balerian of House Tatters. Thank you, Count. We can do super chats now. I like the episode. I think I don't know if I want to speak for all of us here, but I loved this episode. It was so awesome. Arno, where did Alisha go?
Arno.
I tried. I hope Carla's not here to say that was bad, but I really tried.
But we all do the Nar. You guys are so sweet.
Oh my gosh.
I personally loved the episode. I just put out my breakdown, guys. I wanted to go super in detail for you guys, but if you haven't watched it, don't worry, you're gonna get my thoughts right here. But if you could have an orgasm off of a TV show, I would have had one. The range of emotions that I had watching that, oh my God, by the end of it, I was crying. It was so emotional. And I feel like they really captured the time period.
I wholeheartedly agree. I'll say we got a couple more. Yeah, we have some more super chats. Let's
y'all showing off.
Oh, for real. You guys are I love y'all.
Y'all showing off. Pop off.
I know you guys have been waiting for that button to be active. It's active. You guys are using it. We really appreciate it. So I want to say a quick thank you to the movie buff. Are you guys hoping Nettles will be introduced soon?
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see her
It's gonna be a
until
while.
maybe
Probably
Yeah.
season 2, don't you think?
2 or 3, I would
I think
imagine.
end of season 2, very beginning of season 3, because we are very far away from the dragon seeds and all of that happening. A lot has to happen before we get there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and continuing on with these super chats, we got from Kevin Z247, Direwolf City Divas. Yes, your Direwolf Divas, we here. Woo-hoo. Every Monday, 8:30. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the bell for when we're live. You know, all the good stuff.
Yes.
Let's see. We got you guys. You guys are doing it tonight. We got another super chat from Jenna S. So excited to catch a live. Welcome back to Westeros. What did you love most? Ooh, Alisha, since you kind of R&R'd for a quick second, how about you answer? What did you love most?
God, I loved so much. I would say off the top of my head, am I lagging?
No.
Nope, you're doing great.
Perfect. We
Actually,
must
no,
be
I'm
lagging
lagging
to
because
her.
it took y'all like 5 seconds from the time I said, am I lagging? Okay, well.
That's okay, you sound great. Go ahead.
I would say off the top of my head, Damon's smugness. I just found it very amusing. Like, hey, brother. Yeah, no, I'd say Damon's smug demeanor. Matt Smith has excellent delivery, so he'll be fun to watch this season.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say the confirmation that you've been waiting for all these years that happened at the end of the episode. I thought we were going to use it.
Okay. No, I guess, yeah.
Go ahead. Go off. Go off right now.
Very happy to be right. I don't know, because I remember presenting it way back when, and people were like, that's nice. That's cute. Okay. And all these years later, I'm like, bow down, bitches. Because Alisha was right.
Let's go.
Let's go. That was my favorite part of the episode, the
theory
reveal.
Oh, what about you, Nim? What was your favorite part, or what did you love most?
I see Otto Hightower for what he is, a cunt. That was my favorite scene. I watched it like 8 times.
Injected in my veins, honestly.
I watched it over and over. Damon was wonderful. He delivered every line in every scene perfectly. I didn't catch a single misstep. Matt Smith was phenomenal, and he just absolutely carried it. It was great.
Yeah, I would say for me, what I loved most is since we're talking about being right here, I've been saying it, the cold open. I've been saying it. It was going to be the Great Council 101. When I saw that opening scene, I tell you, I literally screamed for joy, because Ryan Condal's me and Ryan Condal. You never seen us at the same place at the same time, because maybe we're the same person. Who knows? But yeah, that made me really happy.
Hashtag I eat Ryan Condal.
It's like Army Hammer much, but like,
sorry.
Ew.
Funny. Ew.
Alisha.
Okay, since we're talking about things that we were right about, during the Air for Day scene, you can ask Mandy. That is, maybe I said it on a stream too. That is exactly how I said it would go down. It was going to cut back and forth between Otto and Damon. And then right before Damon supposedly says something, it would be Otto saying it. And I'm team Damon didn't actually say it. But he didn't want to say that he didn't actually said it, because he was his brother take the side of that chuckle fuck.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point. I don't think he said it either. When I did like my character breakdown on Damon, yeah, I think he partied, and I think he was fucking and getting drunk, and like he said, people grieve in different ways. But did he I for sure saw him make a toast to the baby. But did he call the baby an heir for a day? I don't think so. I think that's an embellishment of Sir Otto.
Right. And I mean, he even said, the gods giveth and the gods taketh, basically. You know, he toasted to his nephew's life. I don't think that it was like malicious because he didn't look happy and jovial like everyone around him. He was sitting there very quietly. And Otto's such a cunt.
Actually, that's funny. That
and also
brings us to our next super chat. I just want to say shout out to John.
I find it really ironic.
Oh, can I just read this real quick? Sorry, 2 seconds. Shout out to John Lang. In this house, we do 2 things: blame the high towers and plug the book club. So I figured since we're talking about Otto, nice time to bring this up. So you were saying, Alisha, I'm sorry for cutting off.
Well, I suppose we could just like jump right into the episode. We can talk about the ending when we get to it.
All right.
But I find the timing. Let's just get to that. Like, let's just go through the episode.
All right, let's hold on. I just want to just address these a couple more. Yeah, we have a lot of super chats.
Can I address one thing? Can I address one thing?
Oh, yeah, of course.
This Aaron person that's talking about the Corliss and Black Valerians, first block him. But before you block him, let me just say, like, bro, get a fucking life. Like, get a life. Go touch the grass, as your ringleader would say. Get the fuck off our live stream. Period.
I handed out a lot of wrenches recently, so please, mods, get that person out of here expeditiously. Thanks. But moving along to, nice things that we'd like to talk about.
Nice things.
I just want to say a quick thank you to Damon McKilway. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But you know what? That sounds like Damon a little bit. So maybe you're Targaryen. Who knows? Who knows? But we have another super chat from the OG, triple OG, Josh. No question. Just thank you for the stream. Also, Rhaenys hype. I need more Rhaenys. I just want that out there. I just need more Rhaenys. So I gotta say about that. Oh, Mandy, you're muted.
Oh, I said we only got 2 scenes with her. I wanted so much more.
Sames.
Oh, with Rhaenys, I love that that scene where she gives Lord Baratheon her favor. I love that scene because that tourney is intercut with Aemma giving birth, and Rhaegar Baratheon. They kind of gave Alyssa Valerian, Rhaegar Baratheon, or they gave Aemma Aaron Alyssa Valerian's story from Fire and Blood, like a part of it. So I did like that scene with her, and how Corliss was kind of like, see, they really think you're the queen, when they like just exchanged that look together.
I love how they were just like sitting. They were like the couple that sits and talks shit on everyone.
Yeah.
They were just like whispering to each other. Look at this bitch.
That was a vibe.
It was great. It
was everything.
I love them so much.
All right. We also got another super chat from. Oh, sorry, Alisha. You guys say something before I got to this. No. Oh, so another thank you to Damon. Do y'all think we get dragon babies, Aemma kind of foreshadowed?
We will get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But without, we're trying not to do spoilers. So I feel like if you go back to that Aemma scene, you will see that a certain baby that will be born deformed was foreshadowed for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, I thought was interesting. In the scene where she's in the tub and she's in Viserys mentions, he like points out that she's in tepid water, and Daenerys had been taking scalding baths the entire pregnancy, and they put Aemma in tepid water, and she said that was all the maesters would allow.
That's a great question. That's a really great catch.
Fuck the maesters.
They're so. I think they're up to no good, but we'll get there. All right. I just want to power through these super chats. You guys have been awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
again.
Y'all treating us good.
Yeah. Yep. You guys are waiting for that button to be active, and it's active, and you guys are using it. So thank you. Another super chat from the movie buff. I cannot talk. Thank you again. The opening text about Dany made me emotional. 172 years before Daenerys.
Yeah.
It was a nice moment.
I loved it. We also have a super sticker from
Hey,
Jamila.
mods, anybody that you see that's talking shit on House Valerian, block them. Gemma, Gutana, block that bitch, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm be honest. I am so far behind. I can't see, so I'm gonna need y'all to mod this up. You guys got wrenches?
I don't have a wrench. Give me a wrench, please.
You don't got it? All right, well, I got you. Hold on. Let me just get to this next one from Ties G. Love how Viserys told Rhaenyra the secret, and yeah, we'll definitely break that down in a bit. MJ, can you do me a favor and just like throw a comment in here real quick so I can wrench you up?
Yes.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, this chat is going so fast. Yeah, we're live, right? Anyways, we have another super chat. Oh, we have so many super chats. From Moita. I love Damon and Rhaenyra speaking High Valyrian. I did too, and I thought that was a great touch.
I loved it. And we got it like a couple of times. It was very exciting. They both did phenomenally well. Both the actors did phenomenally well, by the way.
Yeah, and I know I saw people talking smack on Twitter about the way that Millie, the actress that plays young Rhaenyra, says Dracarys, and there was like a lot of people talking smack. And I just want to say, I think she sounded great. I do not think she is a Shein version of Daenerys. I saw that tweet making the rounds, but yeah, I think she was wonderful. I think she sounds awesome, and it gave me life. So,
yeah.
Great.
Oh, girl, you got your Warhammer. It's there.
Thank you.
I want to say, thank you, Eliana. If you guys don't know Eliana was on with us last week. She is one of the girls from Girls Gone Canon. That is super duper awesome. Check them out if you guys haven't. On their podcast that usually air is on Fridays on all the DSPs. But yeah, take no crap. That's what, girl. You know we're here with the fire and blood. We got inspired. And why is everybody leaving? But anyways, maybe I thought you disappeared too. I was like, no,
I did for a
Alisha.
second. I don't know what happened.
I know. I gotta stop doing that. Another thank you to Jenna S. Macer Conspiracy incoming. Where is LML? I know LML, one of our other mods, Gray Waste Tim, who's here in the chat, and the girl Nettles, they have an after show on Sunday nights, and I know they were talking about that Macer Conspiracy, but I think we're probably gonna get into that a little bit too, because I got some thoughts about Macer Mellos. I don't like him, but
Yeah.
Oh, I think I missed one. Also, a thank you to Connor Cunningham. So the Dragon Dream, do you think it was from George or the showrunner's idea?
Are you talking about the dream or A Song of Ice and Fire prophecy? Just to clarify. But I do think both of them are from George. I know the prophecy is from George. George hinted at that about 4 years ago. The dream is likely from George as well, because we have these Targaryens that have these dragon dreams, and I just don't think if we think about the dream does kind of happen.
It's just
Aegon's crown. No,
Yep.
Aegon's crown, a son. I'm trying not to spoil it, but it's not the way he thought. And you're never supposed to.
I thought the pounding of the hooves was the Dothraki.
Oh, from the stallion who mounts the world prophecy.
And then the heir was wearing the crown because Dany came back and conquered. Like, she didn't inherit the throne, she conquered it. So I thought that was about Dany.
It could be about Dany, but I will say, is it a spoiler if we say Aegon II wore Aegon's crown, because you don't know who
No.
Aegon II is, right? But if you
Right,
read
right.
Fire and Blood, then you know who he is. So it comes
Right.
true, but just not in the way we think it does. Or it could be like what Nim is saying, where it's metaphorically Dany, because it does thundering hooves is definitely Dany.
Right.
Agreed. Also, we have another super chat from Justin Skriha. Love the stream. I think there is something to the Macers and that tepid bath water. Absolutely agree. And all right, we're gonna quickly say thank you to these next few super chats, but we gotta get into this episode. We've doing a lot of thank yous at the top, which again we really appreciated it. So we're gonna just get through a few more, and if we don't hit them now, we will before the end of the stream. So just want to say a quick thank you again to KevZ247. Easy now, Gray. I can't have my wife being hot-headed. LOL, JK. I mean, y'all know she's the blood of Valeria. I think we all know that.
And is. And I'm your wife. I didn't know. Okay. Anyway.
Another thank you to Emily Christina. After what happened with Daenerys, I got chills at the beginning seeing her name and hearing her theme music. So how did you guys feel about the end of the episode when they play like the main theme?
Cry, tears, eyelashes hanging, everything. Sad.
All of it.
Gremlin.
You said sad gremlin.
I'm sorry. I'm sleep deprived, man. I'm sleep deprived.
I mean, you were working hard to get that breakdown out, and I haven't had a chance to watch it because
We appreciate it though.
because it came out as we were getting ready to do this. But I already know it's probably out of all the breakdowns that are out there, it's going to be the most detailed. You guys know, a Sweet Summer
They're always the
Children,
best.
always the best, always top notch, never half-assed. But
I love
that's not
y'all.
shade anybody. But
Oh, Alisha had to restart her computer. She's in the chat.
She be back.
okay. All right. So while we wait for her to be back, let's, I guess, hit some more of these super chats. Another super chat from Shanice. So basically, Robert's rebellion ruined the king's secret. Maybe Bobby B would have been a better king if he knew about the White Walkers. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm actually working on a video. I had to pause editing, so it should be out tomorrow because I'll get it done tonight, about this prophecy and who actually knew about it and who may not have known about it. Spoiler alert, Bobby B didn't, but it's going to be coming out tomorrow. So I don't want to get too deep into it because I know we're going to have a whole section where we talk about that a little bit later on. Let's see. We have another super chat from Jamila again. Sparkles between Rhaenyra and Alicent. Thoughts? Hey, Nim. Fire.
Hi.
I think they're gay. I don't really think they're gay, but if you don't question like the sexuality of,
Are you even friends?
yeah, are you friends?
I
Are
like
you?
that they're playing up their friendship. I think it's going to make a much more bittersweet moment when all of the action finally starts. We didn't really get that in the books. We got that they were just kind of snippy and snarky with each other. That it was fine, and then everybody got kind of eh. So I like that they're really playing up this gal pal friendship of theirs. It's making me very happy.
Me too. And I hope I get my thruple. I don't want to spoil it, but if you know, you know, but I want my thruple.
I
all
want
I'm
that
saying.
too.
I need it. I need it. But I just want to say another quick thank you to Damon again. I think it makes sense that she says it differently from Dany because Dany speaks bad High Valyrian, which makes sense because honestly, who would have taught Dany Viserys? And
Missandei says her High Valyrian is perfect.
oh, well, what is? Well, actually, Daenerys apparently says it differently on.
Yeah, I mean,
so, okay.
I don't talk like my sis. If you heard me talk versus my sister, you'd be like, "Are you even related?" So, do you talk like your siblings? Do you talk like your cousin? Like everybody sounds different. Like, give the girl a break. I think she sounds fine.
Yeah, she sounds fine.
Something to keep in mind too is that the Targaryens of the olden days have been speaking Valyrian in Westeros and on Dragonstone for hundreds of years. So Dany might have an SOC dialect or a bastardized version of a few different, I don't know. My brother is a linguist and he tells me all the time I have a super disgusting accent. And he says it's like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different accents. So,
That totally checks out.
just really affirming stuff.
Honestly, I think
Just
it's
really
a
affirming
Pisces
stuff.
thing because I feel you. My accents fluctuate, and then I also have like weird accents
Right.
that creep up out of nowhere that I don't know where
Yeah.
they came from. But
Well, and to be
Right.
fair to Daenerys, also, she kind of did move around a lot. And so she was getting, like Alicia said, different dialects from all of the free cities.
Yeah.
So she could have an accent. Let it go. It's a made up language.
yeah, we'll be all right. Moving on, we got another one from the movie buff. Do you guys think Dany will live in the books at the end? We actually, if you
No.
guys haven't checked them out yet, we did
Next
a Winds
question.
of we did a Winds of Winter prediction series that you guys can watch after this, and we have a Dany episode. So yeah, tune into that.
I love Dany, but she gonna die.
Just
I
let
think
some
she
of us
gon-
dream.
I think she gonna live.
Let some of us dream, Alicia. Okay.
She was supposed to originally live.
She's going back to the
Yeah,
house.
and
door to eat her
originally
lemons.
Arya and Jon were supposed to cousin bang, but here we are.
But originally she was supposed to live, and I don't think that changed.
Did I mention that also originally Jaime was supposed to sit the Iron Throne and maim Robb Stark in battle?
Right.
Come
So
on,
little
let's go with the
details,
original, please.
little details like that. Yeah, I could see you changing that. But why would you?
That's not a little detail.
Why if you initially had her to live, would you say, oh, you know what, she's better
No.
off dead?
I love you, but
I mean-
the math isn't mathing.
All we
It's
know
just
is
not.
George.
What
We can't
part
use
about
that
the
as
math,
logic.
though?
George is a gardener.
So how did you guys like the
So-
episode?
George is a gardener, so we'll see when the book.
She's gonna live, and that's
She's
what
gonna
I
die.
say, and that's it,
She's
and
going
that's
to
all,
fucking
and that's all I want to say.
We
I
got any
found
more super
myself
chats to
attracted
read?
to Damon.
We got more super chats to read? All right.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Love you so much.
Oh,
I love you too, but damn, be wrong for once.
I
She's a
don't want her
Gemini,
to
you know that's
die,
impossible.
Alicia. I love
Okay, I
her.
don't want her to die either, but she's gonna fucking die.
Okay,
not
so
gonna
moving
die.
on. So moving
Ding,
on.
ding, ding.
Saturn
Separate
9.
corners.
Thank you.
We're never gonna know if she's gonna live or
Separate
die in the
corners.
books. We're never gonna get that shit.
Why
So-
would you say that? See, you get on
Okay,
to me for
all right,
something
I-
negative
I
stuff into
feel
that.
like we're never gonna
No.
get it.
You guys are both on timeout. I muted your mics because
I love you guys.
we're supposed to be friends, and I love you guys. So I'm gonna unmute them right now, so the timeout's over. But
Okay.
I just want to say a
love
quick thank you
her.
to Saturn 9 for the super chat. I found myself attracted to Damon, which says a lot. I think I can speak for most of us here.
I guess I just wanted more
Yeah.
out of his naked rear end. I don't know.
I will say that scene.
He was really
the scene-
going for it. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
he was too jackrabbity
He's
for
like
me,
a
and
bobbin
I really
on a sewing machine.
hope my dad's not watching right now. But just was not doing it for me. But everything else was great.
Boy.
I really like the
I
way
was
he
not watching
delivered.
either because that dude was fucking.
Yeah, he was. I was, he was going at it, but I really, I don't know. It was the way he just said, like, you know, my bronze bitch that did it for me. And I was like, oh my
Right.
god,
Isn't your wife dead? Do you want my bronze bitch? Ain't your wife dead? You can have
That
her.
was such a good moment.
I
just said-
remember
that was
kind of like
such a good
bitches.
moment.
I
I love
remember being
Damon
a lot
so
more
much.
confident in him as Daemon Targaryen as they released more and more stills. And I remember a part of me was like, yeah, Daemon. And then I saw him with the gold cloaks, and I was like, when he started yelling, I was like, he can't help his voice, you know, but it's not the most commanding thing. But when he showed up at the small council the next day, the moment he said my bronze bitch, I'm like, he's Daemon. He's my Daemon. Like, I don't care what anyone says. That's my Daemon.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we've been going for like 30 minutes, so we'll get back to the rest of these super chats in a bit, but let's get into this episode, which you guys are all here for. I guess I know we all kind of said that we loved it. It was pretty positive, I'd imagine. Everybody good? We're good.
I give it a 9.5. The other 0.5 is just because I couldn't tell if I thought the exposition was boring because they didn't write it well or because I already know all the exposition. So,
Ooh.
My 0.5 was the birthing scene. I have very mixed emotions about that one still,
yeah.
but that's all. And I think it's because it was changed from Alyssa to Emma, and it felt like at first I didn't really think it was necessary. I was kind of upset about it, and I bitched on Twitter about it for a couple hours today. And then I read another thread that was kind of like, look at it from this perspective. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then I was getting ready, and I had like half of something done, and I ran in here to make some notes because it hit me the reason why they did it the way they did it, and cutting back and forth between the tourney and the birthing bed. And it goes back to the conversation that Aemma and Rhaenyra had the last time they spoke, when she said, I want to be out there on the battlefield. And she said, this is our battlefield. And then immediately afterwards, Rhaenyra finds out that no matter where you're doing your battle, you're going to die. Because the poor Stark dude got his face ripped off, and her mother was dying. And so it was like, it doesn't matter which one you pick. And I think it was foreshadowing for the dance itself, because I mean, we all know none of us are making it out alive, but like the way they cut it together with that brutal, because it was brutal outside too, but no one's like crying for the Stark boy, you know?
They're throwing up though.
Yeah, they were throwing up in the
Loved him.
background, because it was brutal. But like them torturing Aemma in the last moments of her life.
I believe the
parallel
cutting of
was
scenes
Stark.
back and forth was between Damon versus Kristen, and yeah, I think it was those two, because I think the battle with the
it was
Stark
right
boy,
after the Stark boy got his face busted off,
which
and
was,
Damon and Gwaine, he was going against Gwaine at that point, they were just going at it. I mean, they were absolutely going. It was
Kristen.
a rough battle too. Oh yeah, it was Kristen Cole. You're right.
Kristen.
Oh, he
It was rough.
He
Scraped down that pole. Did you see someone said he was like the Tony Hawk pro skater because he was grinding the pole?
I said
That was
it.
so great.
I said that.
Okay, I didn't see who it was. I just saw like my timeline refreshed, but it killed me.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning of the episode, something I noticed when Rhaenyra comes in on her dragon, first of all, I noticed the fire and blood theme that they so happily put in the beginning. When it shows her overhead, King's Landing, on her dragon, and everyone's just kind of walking along, and they're like, huh. It was like this painful reminder to me how the Targaryen dynasty ends, because the last time that King's Landing sees a dragon flying overhead,
that didn't happen.
But okay, I'm not trying to bring up the show, but it is a juxtaposition.
I know. I'm just
in my opinion. And then she flies into the I was gonna say the Thunderdome. Yeah, we'll call it that.
The Dragon Pit.
The Thunderdome.
I like Thunderdome better.
Well, could it be the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Dimmadome? The Dragon Pit. There's a lot going on there when she lands. And I think we can all agree that Rhaenyra has herself a thing for Alicent. But I'm not convinced that I think Alicent is kind of encouraged to just do whatever she has to do to ingratiate herself with the princess. And as Cersei says, if she has to, like, can't remember what Cersei says right after the whole, like, Mirish Swamp incident, but, you know, she has to give a few kisses for loyalty, and then she'll do it. So...
Ooh, actually, speaking of the beginning of the episode, I just want to bring it back again. I was right about the cold open, but how did you guys?
I was right about the end.
Right. I was right. Me and Alisha were both right. The beginning and the end.
Did I say enders?
No, you said bookenders. You said bookenders.
Okay.
I was gonna say, how did you guys feel about the change of the essentially the two, I would say contestants, but the two claimants being Viserys and Rhaenys rather than Viserys.
My husband was so irritated with me because as soon as the show started, I'm like, nope, that's wrong. He's like, oh my god, shut up.
I liked it. At first I
like
was
the
like,
change too.
yeah, it simplified it, because when it comes down to
Right.
it, even with like Laenor being like, it was still Rhaenys' line. That
Yeah,
was,
Laenor was like what, 6?
Right.
yeah.
And it'll also play up the competition between Rhaenyra and Aegon. So it's, you know, it'll just make it more streamlined, I guess.
I wanted to talk about the Dragon Pit and Cyrax for a minute before we get too far away from that.
Yeah.
Because I loved that. I loved just seeing Rhaenyra flying over the city, the Fire and Blood
It's
theme
so
music.
pretty.
But when she lands, and I think Cyrax looks so different from Caraxes and from, like, his face looks so different from Caraxes, Drogon, Rhaegal, Viserion, the dragons that we've seen so far. But I like how the dragon keepers were like speaking in Valyrian. It looks like the one dude's like training the other one. And I was wondering, I think I texted Mandy this. I was wondering if the dragon keepers had like Valyrian blood in them because of how Dany's dragons are with Brown Ben Plum in the book. Like, for the dragons like to listen to you and for you to be speaking High Valyrians and commanding a dragon to go in his cage, do you have like Valyrian or blood in you somewhere?
Right. Is it just the Valyrian word that does it, or do they have the Valyrian blood that is speaking to the dragons? And I think that's an awesome thought. I kind of dismissed it as like, yeah, they just know Valyrian, like they're just, you know.
I think it's a possible.
I like the idea that their blood is what is speaking to the dragons.
Sorry, I didn't mean to almost cut you off.
No,
I
go
think there's a huge possibility that they do have a drop of Valyrian blood, which would be a really good way to introduce another concept in a couple seasons, which we will not spoil. But also, when at the end of the episode, when Damon flies away with Mysaria, it's like he's trying to accustom Mysaria to Caraxes. I was slurring two Red Queens together. When he was trying to introduce Caraxes to Mysaria, he was kind of like, come here, you know, and so he kind of placed her hand on the snoot, and then he was nuzzling that dragon's head. It was cute. So he was kind of, but if you compare it to the beginning of the episode, when the new Dragon Pit Thunderdome worker, whatever, which by the way, Michael David says a group of dragons is a thunder. I don't know if that's true or not, but we're gonna yes, I love it when I'm accidentally right. Okay.
So they're not a dimmadome? Oh man.
They didn't know dimmadome. So it kind of seems like that new kid came along and he was able to kind of like get Caraxes to come to heel with just the Valyrian word. But I don't know. It's the first episode. We really have no idea dragons' temperaments around people.
That scene. I also liked sorry, guys. I liked Rhaenyra's riding clothes in her saddle. That was it.
Yes. That is all.
All I wanted to say was that scene reminded me of like the tool dudes, like the dudes that are tools and they got like Lamborghinis and they're like, hey, look at my Lamborghini. I feel like that's what he was doing with Mysaria. Like, hey, look at my Lambo, baby. You want to ride in my Lambo, baby? Like, that's what Damon was coming across as. But he very well could have just been getting Cyrax. I mean, we're going to fuck these dragon names up all the time. Caraxes, he was trying to get Caraxes acquainted to Mysaria. That's what I think.
Yeah. It's like you're going to be spending a lot of time together.
What we don't know about the dragons yet, but is obviously a very important point, is what the hell do they smell like? That everyone was like,
everybody's been. I just imagine
like dragon.
I just feel like it's like, you know how like when you've been outside all day and you smell like outside.
You smell like outside, yeah. But she smells like dragon.
I don't know what's just outside. I don't know what the word is. Just you smell like outside.
Yeah,
like,
people say that, and it's like I don't know. Yeah, smell like outside.
Yeah.
But outside smells like dust and sweat.
I don't know. Outside, someone's like outside. I don't know how to describe it besides outside.
Right.
In my video,
so that's how I imagine dragon.
In my video, I said that I think it smells like when you're pumping gas. That smell when you're pumping gas in the car.
What if it smells like patchouli?
Smells like octane.
Patchouli? The patchouli smells good.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I think, okay, that line actually kind of irritated me a little bit. It's part of my 0.5 that I'm deducting because I'm like, what the fuck does a lizard smell like? For real.
I think lizards have a smell.
Okay,
Yeah,
do I look like I've ever
around.
voluntarily touched a fucking lizard or gotten close to one to know?
Probably
To
not.
me, lizards don't have hearts, so they don't have smells.
Well, dragons have hearts because I watched,
Sean Connery
Dragon
taught
Tales.
us that. Yeah.
I was like, I watched Dragon Tales, but
Direwolf City should put out merch. First candle. It smells like a dragon.
That's the name of the candle.
Like gasoline.
Just a hot lizard and octane.
Nice. Actually, I was gonna say, speaking of the smelling like dragon, I know we kind of briefly talked on it, but I kind of want to get into that scene a little bit where Aemma and Rhaenyra are talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say, I love that Rhaenyra tells her mom, like, everybody's kind of making all these preparations, but no one's like checking on you and how you're doing. And it just makes the end so much sadder. It just, oh my God, justice for Aemma.
I'm sorry. You know how I get every time I look down at the chat and I see Edric Storm in there?
Oh, Nunkle's here. Sorry, Nunkle. I've been like frozen, so I don't lose track of where I left off on Super Chat.
He said dragons smell like brimstone and Old Spice.
Tony Teflon said a turtle tank is one of the worst smells in the world if you don't keep up with it.
Absolutely.
Hey, Tony.
I was going to say
four turtles when my kids were little. They stink.
I was going to say a slightly inappropriate story that I'm not going to say on air because I'm not sure who's watching.
We'll talk about it backstage.
We'll talk about it later, but it involves turtle tanks and my birthday.
Yeah. No, I back to what you were saying about the scene with Aemma. Like, we got maybe 3 scenes with Aemma, and she totally stole the whole episode. And not just because she would have stolen it without... She was murdered. Let's just be honest. That was murder. It was without her knowledge. It was without her consent. She was pleading no. Anyway, she seemed like a very kind but consistent soul. By consistent, I mean, I don't want to say structured, but she was a very constructive person. And you can kind of tell, like, the things that Viserys might have done right in his reign was probably attributed to Aemma being a voice of good sense.
Wow.
Just like which, speaking of, Viserys said as much. I love
no
that they
wonder the
inserted
realm
that.
is going to shit since my mother died.
My grandmother, yeah. At first I thought he said my grandfather, and I was like, okay, go off, I guess.
But for those that don't know, that haven't read the book yet, Queen Alysanne was King Jaehaerys's wife. She's also known as the Good Queen. She is the bee's knees, and I think the only reason why Jaehaerys is so well revered is because of Alysanne and her decisions. So just want to throw that out there. But yeah.
So the other point of view that I had discussed, that I had read about Alysanne, was someone had pointed out that when she was sitting in the bath, she said that she couldn't handle losing another baby, and that he thought that she just couldn't do it, and that if the baby died and she lived, that she wouldn't have wanted it that way. And so that's why he chose that way. I don't think it was right either way that she wasn't consulted or at least told. All they said was, we're going to get the baby out now, not we have to cut you open. And so, like, that's the very least that he could have done, that anyone could have done. And I mean, I had to have an emergency C-section after 46 hours of labor, and I had anesthesia, and I had given consent, and I was still terrified. So I can't imagine what she was going through.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll say same here. I also had an emergency C-section with my child, and It was actually a very terrifying situation. So I'll be a little candid here. I had a very smooth pregnancy, no complications until I was in labor. And unfortunately, my son's heart rate started to drop. So they had to do an emergency C-section to get him out. And they, between the time of rolling me from the labor delivery room to the room for the operation, they had him out within 5 minutes. But when I tell you, they had given me so many anesthetics, I thought I was going to die. I literally was sitting there thinking, I'm going to die. This is it. As long as he's okay, I'm fine. I heard the cry. I was like, all right, it's good. I can fade out of existence now. But I'm here now. Hi, guys. He's going to be 3 on Saturday. But I had that, I was able to make that decision and make that call.
Right.
Aema did not have that. They did not. I guarantee, like, if Aema was given the decision, like, hey, we could save the baby's life, you're probably not going to survive the ordeal. What is your decision? I believe she probably would have chosen her child over herself, because the baby, for those that don't know what breech means, when a child is breech, that means their feet are first rather than their head going out the birth canal. So most children that are breech, if they're not able to turn them in the womb, most of the time the parent has to have a C-section. So little obstetrics for you guys. You're welcome.
Thanks all for sharing it.
But I wanted to bring it up earlier when you mentioned I was thinking of Rhaegar and Elia Martell, because Elia Martell, they had told her that after her second child, Aegon, that she can't go through having any more children. Like, she can't. Her body cannot take it. And Rhaegar deciding to be I don't know how I want to word this, because I don't think he was a good person for this.
Emo bastard.
For being the emo sick bastard, decided, well, prophecy, I need to get another lover, rather than just be like, oh, well, chalk it up. I got the 2 kids. We'll make it work.
Can I touch on that?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think Rhaegar did that? Well, do you think they did that to Lyanna? Cut Jon out? Because there was a lot of blood. Like, a lot.
Yeah, I that's what I assumed happened, is that they made the choice. Because
I think so too.
I mean, the way it still happens, but it's not as common back then. The average lifespan was so short, not because people didn't live as long, but because the infant mortality rate was so high. And it's because women died in beds of blood.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to watch, but I'm glad that they did include it, because it's par for the course. It's par for the course. Like, they basically are telling women in Westeros, you can't inherit shit. You're just here to give us a son so he can inherit, but you can't.
They spent the first episode, there's a lot going on with women in the first episode. Like,
Yes.
they had to use an example of one of the top tier worst things women had to endure, especially as like royalty, and it sets up how Rhaenyra has this visceral passion to subvert that. Like, knowing what happened to her mother, us seeing what happens to her mother. And for her, she wants something more. And we need to want something, like, we, the audience, need to want something more for Rhaenyra. So I don't think that as grotesque as it was, I don't necessarily think that it was entirely gratuitous, because I think there was a purpose behind horrifying us beyond just, well, we're going to start this episode out with a bang.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And it was on the back of Aema telling her, we have royal wombs, you and I. That basically that's what we are. And what's happening to me is what's going to happen to you. And the cycle's going to continue.
And Alicent was in the room too. Cool. unfortunately has to have a royal on that.
I still, at
But,
this point, think Alicent is a victim of her father.
I
At
got
this point.
mad sympathy for
absolutely.
Alicent after episode
So
1.
much
Mad sympathy.
This-
Still Team Black always, but
Yeah.
mad sympathy for her. Like
Yeah.
just seeing her, like the nail shit, her peeling her nails off, seeing her like filled with anxiety, and her dad just being like, "Go fuck the king." Like, what?
For your dead mom's dress. Have fun.
Yeah, take him a book.
I won't wear
Yeah.
that.
He was like trying to like pimp his daughter out, and I believe I know all like it's been said on this stream. It wasn't my idea originally for the comparison. I believe it was Alisha or Mandy. One of you guys let me know. The Thomas Bullen, Anne Boleyn vibes between Alicent and
It was
Otto.
both of us at different times. Both of us have been
Yeah.
saying it for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But I guess like it's just really, the more I watched it, the more I'm like, and this is how we can circle back to that Great Council scene that's right after the conversation between Rhaenyra and Aemma. A big difference I noticed right away between Tywin and Otto is Tywin was known for letting other people speak, no matter what stupid shit they had to say. Otto loves to talk over people, anyone and everyone. That's his thing. And I remember the first time I watched it, I believe he cut off either Lord Strong or
Corlys.
Oh yeah, he cut off everybody. By the way, like I'm gonna love Beesbury. Like they really want us to love Beesbury so hard.
Did you see Beesbury taking bets like Littlefinger?
Yeah, he's like,
yes!
when Damon was like, my bronze bit or sheep are prettier in the Vale,
He's
Lord
like,
Beesbury was like, oh my word.
If he had pearls, they would have been clutch.
But yeah, he was clutching his little like bee pendants. But no, Otto just like really cut everybody off left and right. And that felt, I remember my first thought after seeing the first time he cut someone off is that is so not Tywin. Like Tywin will have the last word, but he doesn't have the only word.
That council where that council where Tywin is they've taken Jaime. It's like
they have my son,
and they're all like throwing out ideas, and he's just sitting there listening to them, and he's like, they have my son. Everybody out, Tyrion, you say. Like he's just like sitting there thinking they're all fucking stupid. But one thing I want to point out about Otto is how manipulative he is, how he directs the conversation. So when Corlys is speaking about the trade routes being interrupted, the shit that's going on in the disputed lands, Sir Otto kind of just like cuts him off and like, let's talk about something more pleasant. How about the heirs tourney, your grace?
No,
and
Corlys
then
is
Viserys
the
is all happy. Yeah, like Viserys is all happy, like, oh yes, I'd love to talk about that. Yeah, so you're redirecting the conversation away from an actual problem to a party. And Damon is right for calling you out for being a manipulative cunt.
And for calling Viserys weak.
Yes.
Because that's what Otto was doing, was accusing his weak king.
And actually, it's funny that we brought up the oh, sorry, I just want to quickly say before I move on the Tywin comparison to Otto. Tywin, the minute Corlys, first of all, he would have known before Corlys reported it if it was Tywin. But the minute Tywin would have heard that from Corlys, that would have been the focus of conversation. Because why? The triarchy interrupting the trade routes directly impacts the finances of the realm. And as we saw, Mr. Master of Coin wants to complain about, I mean, also, you know, defund the police a little bit. But yeah, the gold cloaks. Gold cloaks are wilding. The gold cloaks are wilding.
It's gold line.
And Damon, he's like, I just want to know where Damon's money's going. I want a spreadsheet. I need to see what's happening with these funds.
He's a good master. Oh, go ahead, Mandy.
He's a great master.
Like, I need your deductions. I need your receipts. I need all of your gas pump receipts. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. When they were talking about Damon, it reminded me. I was happy that Viserys was like, yeah, and Corlys was like, yeah, he had to do that brutal shit because there's attorney. And then we can look back.
Is like, yes, that's nice.
yes. And if we look back at Game of Thrones with the hand tourney with Ned Stark, like Janis Slint the city was in a fucking uproar. Like there was just heads like floating in the pool at the Sept of Baelor.
Mhm.
People were getting robbed and dying. So Damon has a point. Alisha,
should we get to some super chats? 'Cause we haven't
Yeah.
really- yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me catch up so I can like speed through this. We had another super chat from Damon McGilwain. I'm the show. I didn't know you were in House of the Dragon. Well, I mean, you are kind of the Damon, so I guess it makes sense.
yay!
Also want to say a thank you to, yes, it's Nico. Hi, DC4. I have been hearing that Danny is the one that started the whole Dracarys for the fire command for dragons. That's not true though, right? Thanks. It translates from Valerian to dragon fire, so I'd imagine it's probably used before.
Yeah,
but it was probably lost. Yeah, the information was probably lost because obviously dragons weren't around by the time Danny's born. Trying to avoid slight spoilers for this series. Let's see. We got another one from KevZ247. Danny, we're not bringing this back up. We're not bringing that back up. We're not bringing that back up. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Paid money for his super chat.
I mean, this was all right, guys. I'm like behind.
He paid cold hard cash. Danny
is that the same person
that
that said he was my husband? Because if it was,
yeah,
I want a divorce now.
He paid his cold hard cash. The man said what he said.
Okay. Anyways, moving on to Damon again. Thank you. You guys read me wrong. Breaks my heart. I'm so sorry. I'm catching up, guys. I'm sorry. I don't even remember what we did, but thank you. I'm sorry. You guys have been awesome with these super chats. I'm sorry we're like a little bit behind, but you know, you guys are here for us to break down the episode, so you know we're trying to get that done too. Quick thank you to Audrey McConnell. Do you think Danny might become Night's Queen in some fashion, journey to Heart of Winter, and stay there for eternity? P.S. Just joined book club. So excited.
I think Danny has huge Night's Queen vibes.
I do too.
Kind of like there are a few different characters in the series that have Night's Queen vibes. And I think George does that so that we can't quite pinpoint who it is until he drops it on us. So
when you guys are finished with the super chat, can you highlight Greyways Tim's comment? I'll just read it. Damon Targaryen took a breath, and Otto Hightower took that personally. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to.
Sorry. I'm trying to.
Good one, Tim. Good one.
That was a good one, Tim. I would have pulled it up, but I don't want to lose some of these super chats because, again, you guys have been so awesome. And I just want to make sure we, get these thank yous out. Also, again, if you guys haven't seen it, we do have a Winds of Winter prediction series and we do have a Daenerys episode. So if you guys have want to know some of our thoughts there, you guys can always check that out. There's a playlist on this channel. I think it's called Winds of Winter Predictions, super easy to find. So yeah. Moving on. Thank you. The truth of it. George Lucas said he didn't foresee Yoda and Vader's popularity and that he got rid too quick. I'm assuming rich too quick. Our George, I beg, take heed. Sometimes adjustments are needed to further ensure greatness of a franchise. I mean, I was a wee little youngin' when the Star Wars movies made their brown skin, aka the prequels. And I will say, before that, I was a Vader fan. I was one of those sick ass children that was like, yo, that guy force choking people, he's awesome. Tell me more. But yeah.
I think a lot of things are just hard to translate from page to screen. Yeah. Or just George's way of writing. It's not convoluted is the wrong word, but it's very involved. There's a lot of steps to get from A to B. So I think they're just kind of simplifying.
Yeah, I think he even said he wrote his books knowing damn well they probably never would get translated to TV because they would be too fucking expensive to translate to TV or impossible to translate TV. But 2022, we got that technology, y'all.
Yes, we do. And it's lit. I want to say another quick thank you to Shanice. As a mom, that birthing scene was hard to watch. I think I had PTSD from giving birth myself. Shout out to all the moms in the chat. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I kind of shared my personal story a little earlier. And yeah, no, I'll be honest. I was cringing when I was watching it. I was having my own little flow. It was hard to watch, but
it's very hard to watch.
Yeah. We have another super chat from Bezad Goldenhand. Do you think Aegon the Unworthy also had Azor Ahai in long night dreams? What if he saw Damon line will lead to the third head of dragon, Aegon? Ooh.
I think
So,
he did.
look
He
out for
was
my new
terrified. Oh, sorry. He was terrified of dragons, or he didn't like dragons, and we're not going to say why he didn't like dragons, but he was kind of like
He was talking about. You're thinking Aegon the Third. This is Aegon the Fourth.
Oh, Aegon the Fourth. Aegon
Yeah.
the Unworthy. Did he have Azor?
Viserys' shithead child.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did have dragon dreams. Aemon basically says as much. My brothers had dragon dreams and they killed them all, every one.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring that up because in the new video I'm working on, I do mention that I no spoiler, I do think he told Damon about it. Damon Blackfire. I think he was informed. But
okay,
look out for my video on my channel tomorrow.
So at first MJ was talking about Aegon the Third, and then she's like, oh yeah, Aegon the Fourth, and then she started referencing
It's the fifth.
Aegon the Fifth.
Oh yeah.
So many Aegons, they make you swear and swear.
Yeah.
We have another super chat from Capillarian of House Tatters. What is bit about dragons causing fall of Valyria?
I guess
That
we'll
would be
out.
a whole rabbit hole of a discussion if we get too deep into that
I
now.
discussed that in one of our prediction videos.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I don't remember which one.
I think it was called like the Doom of Valyria, the Secrets of Valyria. It was around
Maybe.
Halloween.
It was the Halloween episode, the one, yeah, the Valyrian Secrets one.
That was a good
Go look
day.
it up. It's really good.
Yeah. Again,
Those
check out the
diamonds.
playlist after the stream though. We have another super chat from the movie buff. Are you guys excited to see Lena in action soon?
Yes, can we talk about baby
she was
Lena
so
watching the
cute.
tournament?
Yeah, let's talk about that now. Let's get into that.
We are
She
skipping
was
so
so
okay, I
cute.
guess we can.
No, let's just. I mean, it's
I
here.
kind of want to go in order of the scenes.
Okay, yeah, you're right. We'll come back to Lena, but yeah, I'm super excited to see her.
So cute.
All right, we're gonna do
She's adorable.
one more quick super chat before we take a little pause from super chats to get back into the episode and pick back up after this. Again, thank you guys for trying to keep on top of all of them. Just want to say a quick thank you to JB. Breaker of Chains plays during Viserys' A Song of Ice and Fire speech. Could that be subtle confirmation that she's the prince that was promised? Or is that Ramin being a simp for Dany because same? Again, subscribe. I eat zebra. Hit that notification bell. Look out for that video tomorrow because I'll talk about it. And I actually mentioned the song being in that scene. So
I do think I just want to answer her super chat a little bit.
Yeah,
I do think it's subtle confirmation that she's the prince that was promised. I think Azor Ahai, Prince was promised, is the same freaking thing. And I think Dany checks every box to the point that if she's not, then why? Why do all this stuff?
So I guess at first of all, I thought the ending of this episode was really exciting because who doesn't love to be right? Anyway, but then I got irritated because I was like, why go back in time and hype all this up when the end of Game of Thrones really dropped the ball with all of this? But then I was like, well, no. Just because Game of Thrones dropped the ball with the execution doesn't mean we can't have fun with like all the build up to it, and like for all we know, 20 years down the road, they're going to redo Game of Thrones for all we know, it's a possibility.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, it's a possibility. Honestly. So it's like, just because Game of Thrones kind of dropped the ball in the end doesn't mean that we can't really build up to something really great in the prequel, because a reboot of Game of Thrones is always in the cards, especially since we talked about before, especially like the ending credits. It looks like that George R.R. Martin emblem, the Germ emblem. I was like, I see you, George R.R. Martin's extended universe. So I mean, Germ's you. Yeah, that's. I think that it is.
I just remembered another part of that whole Viserys dream, where he's talking about the thundering hooves and Aegon's crown. I remembered that he mentions bells also And I was wondering if they were trying to tie that in with Dany's
I
death.
thought about that. The bells part, I was like,
Yeah, he heard the Dothraki bells in their hair, not the.
You've been doing mental gymnastics all night? Stop it.
The bell,
Exactly.
I can't.
Okay.
How is that
Oh.
mental gymnastics that they can't include the bells totally? You just move on.
I was gonna say, actually, this is the last. It takes you back to the last super chat before we get back into the episode. And I feel like this is a good segue. Why was there? Oh, edge over you, edge over you. I don't know how to. I hope I'm saying that at least. EJOVIU. Why was there werewood in King's Landing? So it's a good segue to get back into the episode. So obviously they're talking about the scene where we see Rhaenyra and Alicent under a tree
being lesbians.
Yeah, a nice little history lesson about,
a lesbianic history lesson.
Yeah, about I was gonna say the word I was gonna say was not the word I wanted to use. A powerful woman that we happen to have on this panel, kind of. Nim, oh my gosh, do you want to get into the scene since we're talking about you a little bit?
Also a lesbian.
Also married to a man.
Stop putting me in a box, MJ. Okay. So we at one point did have weirwoods all over Westeros. The only place we didn't have a weirwood that would grow was up in the Vale, because it was up, in like basically weirwoods can't be potted plants. I have a theory that it's because the root systems couldn't connect, whatever. So at one point we did have a weirwood in King's Landing. Now, whether...
Oh no! No!
Arah!
No, come back! Come back!
What the hell was that?
Promise me.
Okay. I guess you're stuck with me entertaining you till Mandy comes back so we can bookmark that thought. So
I guess
since we're talking about weirwoods.
So that weirwood idea you can find more on in a previous video.
So what she meant to say is weirwood. I'm super condensing so that she can still do her thing. Weirwoods grew all around Westeros until the Andals came over and cut down whatever the First Men didn't cut down before they converted to the old worship of the old gods. So a lot of these castles that still have at least one weirwood in them, like weirwoods are still all around Westeros, just they're only prominent in the north.
Yeah,
I have a theory actually what happens to this weirwood, since we don't see it in the I'm gonna say Aeswolf or Game of Thrones. I have a theory that a certain blessed king, aka Baelor, probably had it chopped down because, as we know, he's kind of a religious zealot, if you will. He is insane. He's literally insane. So I could see him having it removed because obviously it's a symbol of the old gods, and he is a staunch believer in the faith of the Seven. So I think he might have got rid of it.
That's a good point, because it isn't there in A Song of Ice and Fire or in Game of Thrones, because I specifically remember a Sansa chapter where she's like, she goes to the Godswood, like the Godswood here, like they don't have a heart tree. It's like an oak tree that they use for a heart tree. So I'm with the idea of Baelor tearing down that tree. Also like the sept, like the Great Sept of Baelor hasn't been built yet. So I was trying to figure out what was on Visenya's Hill at this time, but I could not figure it out to save my life.
Ooh. I wonder if maybe it's like a rinky-dink set, and then he like tears it down and makes a bigger, better set. Maybe
wasn't it a rinky-dink sept until it was?
Didn't the Faith Militant like fuck it up during Maegor though?
Maegor, I think, messed it up.
Yeah, Maegor.
Yeah, no, they messed it up for themselves, but he definitely
they fucked around and found out.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what scene was after the Great Council. I'm trying to get back.
Actually, it's the uncle that arrived, Damon, and I meant to bring this up
yes.
earlier. I believe Chloe or Eliana or both of them brought it up on Twitter about Damon giving Jamie original outline vibes by being seated on the throne.
Yes. You know, I have a good friend that texted me some thoughts about Damon today, going into it not knowing anything about Fire and Blood or Damon Targaryen, and he had some really interesting thoughts, and he was like, I think that they're trying to make Damon out to be the villain, but I don't think he's that bad, and I think he wants the throne, but I don't think he would ever kill his brother for it. So yeah, you know, like, I do think that he wants the Iron Throne, but I also think that quite a few times throughout this episode, you could see Damon and Viserys have deep, genuine love for one another. And I think it's one of the reasons that toward the end of the episode, when Viserys was like, "Did you say it?" Damon was so, because, you know, not to give away my family business, but I can think about a particular time between my brother and I where, like, I did something that hurt my brother, and instead of telling me that it hurt him, instead of like confirming or denying, he was like, well, if you feel that way. And it took us years to talk about it. So I can see how Damon, like with the air for a day thing, like, I don't think he said it, but I don't think he was really going to touch down on it, because it's like, my dude, if this is the side you want to pick, then fuck you, because I've done nothing. I've done nothing but try to protect you and defend you. And, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because in the other, I'm gonna call it the other official House of the Dragon podcast, but it's actually sponsored by HBO, so it's a little bit more official. But anyways, Ryan Condal actually brings up Damon and Viserys' relationship in the most recent episode, and he brings up the fact that Damon doesn't want the throne; he just wants his brother's trust. He just wants his brother to have that trust in him and that faith that he gives to so many others, which I definitely agree with, because I mean, we saw, well, in Fire and Blood, we see it in text. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to see it in the show. But Damon, when it's at the Great Council of 101, Damon is like, I will get armies together. I'm defending my brother's claim. Like, he is ready to ride out and roll for Viserys. And like he says in this episode, he just wanted to be named Hand, like, just give him a better position. But I mean, let's be honest, the everyday tedious like nature of being a Hand of the King, Damon would not like that at all.
So don't get me wrong, Damon is a dick. Seeing the way he acted at the tournament, I'm like, really, my dude? But, and I'm not even talking about how he treated the Hightowers, because that was actually really funny. But, and I mean, still dickish. But the way Damon acts is, I dare say, understandable, because it's like he said, you didn't make me Hand. You gave me this position and then you took it away. You gave me this position and you took it away. Like, what choice do I have but to take absolutely nothing seriously? Oh, and then I had to marry this woman.
Hightower's idea.
Right. And you're not doing anything about this dude that clearly wants to sit on my dick. You know, like, it's so, I mean, like, command of, and he's so, like, I know Mandy has said that Damon has huge August Leo vibes, and I'm sorry, I completely and utterly disagree, because I think that Damon is a Scorpio. You could not convince me otherwise before this episode, but I really feel like this episode doubled down on it, because Scorpios feel things very, very deeply, but they will play everything. Nope, let me finish, Arah. Let me finish. But they will play everything off like a joke, like one big morbid joke.
Actually, sorry to cut you off. This actually kind of touches on this that the next super chat, which was hey sexy mamas, thanks Jenny Voltson. Hey sexy mamas, do you think Damon meant heir for day maliciously, or was he set up? Alisha, I think you kind of addressed this.
He was set up. He was set up, because I noticed something about the timing. I noticed something about the timing of that whole fiasco. Otto wasted zero time. It was literally the day of the funeral. He's like, hey, Alicent, go fuck the king. where you're dead, like as that meme that I posted said, like, hey, go fuck the king, by the way, wear your dead mother's dress. You know, like he waits, and around the same time he decided he was gonna push Alicent onto Viserys. He caused dissent between Viserys and Damon. Like, I find the timing of those two extremely convenient. So he wanted Alicent to marry Viserys potentially, but he needed Damon out of the way. Speaking of Alice and Damon, I'm just as convinced as I was before that Damon had sex with Alicent, and that's why Otto has it out for him.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to talk about just elaborate a little bit. I was trying to let y'all finish, but Damon and Viserys's relationship, I think you guys are right. He loves him. He loves him and he wants his approval. Bazad said it in the chat. I've said it in my Damon breakdown video. He reminds me of Tyrion, like how Tyrion wants Tywin's approval and he will do almost anything for it, and he laughs everything off as a joke when his feelings are really fucking hurt.
Scorpio.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison. And then figure where Viserys is his older brother, and they lost their father when they were pretty young, so that's kind of like almost like a parental figure as well as an older brother.
Yeah.
It's like the last older person he has to look up to.
Damon, like the first introduction we get to Damon's in the Riverlands. Well, in the books, Damon's in the Riverlands, like gathering up swords, like, nobody's going to take my brother's title from him at this great council, or I'm going to go to war. So like, he loves his brother. And I think he just wants, I think Viserys is right to a point, like the throne would bore Damon. But he just wants his brother to trust him, to trust him, and not like, how bad it would hurt if your sibling let someone basically control your life. Because Viserys said that, like, well, I made him maester laws and you said this, and I made him this, and then you said this, and then I made him this, and then you said this. So like Otto is always trying to find a way to get rid of Damon, and that has to hurt.
Yeah, and it's like you're choosing somebody that's not family over family. It's like, did he not learn anything from Dom Toretto? I'm convinced Viserys has never watched Fast and the Furious. He's never watched it because he doesn't know anything about family. Like,
they wrote Viserys so well, though, because I really, truly got the sense that Viserys was not picking a side at all. Like that whole scene where, God, I love that scene where that first scene between Damon and Otto, when Damon gets done collecting limbs and PPs and heads on a cart.
Saying, what about my impunity?
What about my impunity? But no, like right before he drops the "that's why your mama dead" line, he was kind of Viserys was amused by Damon. You could tell he was like, okay, I'm in king mode, and like he walks in and Damon's just like, brother. And like Viserys is like, Damon. And so Damon, like Viserys just seemed very amused by the whole thing. And even after Damon dropped that line about like, didn't your wife just pass recently? Do you want my wife? Is that what it is? Like Otto like stands up about the whole thing, and Viserys was like, he makes sport about provoking you. Sit. Like Viserys wasn't about to check Damon.
He probably was gonna go kiki and laugh about it later.
Right. And like I loved Damon because Damon is so good at, even at the tournament after Kristen Cole knocked him on his ass, he's like, yield. And Damon's on the ground, like knowing he knew he wasn't going to get his face bashed in, but he knew he had no choice but to yield. He was on the ground. He's like, like, just like still being a little shit on the ground. But no, like Damon totally gets under Otto's skin. And I think Otto gets under Damon's skin as well. It's just Damon knows better than to show it. Because I think Damon does, as hurt as he is, he felt like he had a certain sense of security because Viserys was always there to be like, oh, well, my brother. That
just my boy.
He likes to provoke people. He likes to make sport of it, and he liked having his brother close. And also, Damon is a prince. What is the hand of the king even going to do to a prince? And he was the heir for a very long time. Now, it was contingent upon no male heir being born. However, you know, like, I don't know. I just think Otto is such an audacious
I can't stand him.
MFer.
I did want to actually get back quickly to the when we see Damon in the throne room. I thought it was very interesting that they said, "Oh, where's Damon? Can't find him." And he was just chilling, sitting on the throne. He was in the city for days, apparently. And I'm like, so nobody reported this sooner?
What do you think Ned Stark would have said if he saw him sitting on that fucking throne?
Clutched his pearls.
His whole booty hole would have been tight.
Then, like, if you look at Harold Westerling's reaction when he's like, whoa. Like, hey, you got a little too much dip on your chin.
And Rhaenyra is like, it's okay, shut the door, gotta flirt with my uncle.
Yeah.
I'm getting all sorts of, I don't know. I definitely think they're setting, Rhaenyra definitely has a thing for her uncle. Rhaenyra definitely has a thing for Alicent. I do think later on they're going to write her to be a bit more on the polyamorous side.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of see shades of that because she kind of, you know, and then she's like, ooh, Kristen Cole. Where usually when they write, and it's not like she's this frivolous little girl that just like flits from one crush to the other.
I think
So
she's a horny teenager.
Yeah. But she's not like frivolous about it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but no, that scene where they're bantering back and forth in Valyrian, first of all, I don't know what it is, but the way they both speak Valyrian, I'm just like, yes, pump it into my veins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, not that Emilia Clarke didn't do amazing. I think she did a more amazing job than they did because she literally had the handicap of 2 brain aneurysms.
Yeah.
And she was memorizing like way more not languages. But
yeah, because she's what, Valerian and Dothraki, and she was doing.
Did you roll
phenomenal.
the R on it? You
I did.
Shout out to Red Team Review in the chat. What's up, Carmine? He said, please someone tell me you noticed the butthole in the brothel scene. I can't be the only one with the magnifying glass during this. I did not notice a butthole.
Honestly, that butthole scene, there was a lot. It kind of, I was getting I watched Herogasm episode for like The Boys, and I've had enough of like TV orgies for like, a lifetime.
Okay, speaking of orgies, can we talk about the tapestries in the royal bedchambers? Because they were everywhere. And I am convinced it was because they didn't have porn back then. I bet you they put them up there because that's the royal bedchamber where they got to make some heirs and get in the mood. So they're like, porn didn't exist. So they're like, let's get these Targaryens aroused. I swear there was like a 4-foot-long penis that went like through one person into another person's mouth. I was just sitting there like the second time I watched it through, and I did fast forward through the actual C-section scene. But when Viserys comes in and Aemma's like, you know, she's breaching, she's in a lot of pain, I couldn't even focus on the scene anymore because I was just staring at that 4-foot-long penis going through 2 people. You know,
honestly, can I just say, Robert? I think that'd have been one of the decorations Robert would have kept if it was still available. Because again, I think Baelor got rid of all that shit.
Right.
So apparently, 2 extras are going really hard, and the man spreads her cheeks a little too much, and you can see for a split second. It's legit the first time I've ever seen that on TV. Home box office breaking records.
Oh, I'm gonna go look for that now.
Oh, you mean the second brothel scene? Okay.
With the orgy. I guess that's what's talking about.
You know, I do think, I was just about to think to myself too, like, okay, even though they're doing a mass orgy, they're less gratuitous about it than Game of Thrones was somehow. But I guess if people are peeking booty holes.
I don't know. That meme of Kermit. I'm not going to get into it here before we get demonetized. We just got monetized.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Just kidding. LOL.
We can't talk about booty holes.
I mean, not.
I think we can say booty hole.
Okay.
I think we can say it. We could just get.
Can we say the like medical term?
I don't know.
Booty hole. Booty hole. Booty hole.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
Can we
actually,
say,
speaking of body parts,
are we allowed to say rectum?
probably. But speaking of body parts, I want to get into the fact that Damon and his gold cloaks had 2 carts full of body parts that they dismembered when they were doing their
That
little
didn't
cleanup.
seem like a lot when I was looking at when I was watching that scene.
How was
of them
that
just
not a
beating
lot?
everybody up. It didn't seem like a lot. Because they were beating up so I don't know. I guess it was a lot. If the show said it was a lot, it was a lot. But I guess I was thinking in terms of like gelding. You know, so I'm like, to me it would be a lot if it were 2 cartfuls of the leavings of gelding. Sorry, I don't want to get demonetized.
That's why I'm
body
assuming.
parts a lot.
I'm assuming that's what it is, because like it was 2
Well, none
carts
of them
full
were
of
arms
stuff.
and heads
And
Maybe
scrotums.
some and hands, some
Roots and
foots were in
stems.
there too.
And
It was
scrotums.
just imagine you weren't even like doing anything and you were just chilling. You just got off a long day of work. You were working in a stew, like one of the stew pots, making some bowls of brown, and you just happen to just be on, have a long day. And the next thing you know, the gold cloaks start beating you up just because you were like walking home on the wrong
What's
street.
the girl from the Crucible?
Abby.
Oh, what if they had an Abby there?
We don't say that name.
Okay.
Okay. And
Oh, what? From the Crucible. Abby from the Crucible.
Yeah, Abby. It was Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail.
I don't think I've seen it. I'm sorry.
Williams? No.
Abigail
no.
Williams, the one that like starts the whole Salem witch
know if it
trials.
was
Yeah, I
Williams.
think it was Williams.
Her name was Abby. She
Somebody
saw
in the
Goody
chat, let
Proctor
us
with the
know.
devil.
Abigail. But
I
she
don't know.
basically made up shit to get people murdered.
Yeah. Like
So-
Otto Hightower.
Yeah.
Stupid ass bitch.
I can't say an Otto. But I actually quick little moment. Let's get back to some of these super chats because we still have a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Proctor was not Proctor, David. That was the guy. But I'm sorry.
Oh, so when you said Proctor, my mind went to like power, which is not what we're talking about. From EJOVU. I'm sorry, I'm gonna figure this out one day. What if Aemma refused to undergo the C-section? I'm certain Viserys would have forced her to have it done.
What? She did refuse. She was literally fighting them.
Yeah, I would consider that a refusal when she saw that, and she's like,
I think if she had been given the choice and they made it transparent what they were about to do to her, I think she more or less would have probably given consent. But if I'm just in there, I've been in labor for hours, and you just literally pull me off my comfy pillow, you don't say nothing to me, and you just start cutting me open. And you're not explaining to me what's going on. You're just like, I love you. It's going to be okay. And getting cut open with no anesthesia. Oh, God. I would have been screaming too. I'd have been like, no, get off me.
And Edric, yeah, she would have died anyway. Like, she would have died anyway. But that's not the point that she would have died anyway. It's the point that they didn't tell her what was happening. She didn't get to decide. That's the fucked up part. The fucked up part isn't that she was given a C-section, because plenty of women, even in that time period, medieval time period, Roman time periods, got C-sections. It's the point that they basically said, we don't care if you want to have it or not. We see that you physically are having a very visceral reaction to what we're doing to you, but we're going to do it anyway. That's what was fucked up about it.
Exactly.
For me, the moment she said, I'm scared, that should have been the end of it. But the way they just yanked her off of the pillow, it was murder. It was murder.
Yeah. I just want to say another quick thank you to Taylor for the super chat. Hey girls, I'm happy to finally catch you guys live. I wanted to give a shout out to Rainey's and Corley's, our gossiping queen and prince consort. Also, me and Alicia's mom and dad. Yeah, I love them. I can't wait to see more of them. I know, like in the upcoming episodes, which I haven't seen yet, we're probably gonna get more of them. But let's see, we got a lot of super chats to still go through. Thank you, T Taplin. Ain't nobody got time for stank jack turkey auto tap. We don't. If you guys haven't learned by now, this is we don't like Otto Hightower.
He's such a bitch.
We don't like him. We say his name though because we don't like him, but we don't like him.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got another super chat from Kevin G. Oh my god, that reminds me of Mean Girls.
I was gonna say, Kevin G. From Mean Girls. From Mean Girls. Okay.
Yeah. Maesters killed Aemma plus baby gray rats. I disagree on the baby part, but the Aemma part, I highly agree. Also, that reminds me, I wanted to bring this up before we forgot. Speaking of the gray rats, Viserys and his ugly boo-boo on his back from the throne. I know that was a really childish statement. We got that scene where
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
She's trying to repent for us saying booty hole earlier.
Yeah, she hit a boo-boo. But no, when Viserys, we have that scene where his back is being treated by Maester Melos and an apprentice, and he has that injury where he's like, oh, they're like, oh, it's a wound that won't heal. And he's like, oh, I just got cut on the throne. It happens. And Otto's like super like, make sure nobody knows about this. How do you guys feel about that? Because I know we've had that, that saying where like, oh, if the throne's cutting you, it's probably rejecting you.
Yeah. So
well,
I
cut him right after he kicked his brother out. So
yeah.
I actually didn't think nothing too terribly negative jumped out. Like, I don't think we're at a point that Otto is really plotting Viserys's downfall, because he's still got a lot of juice to milk out of that udder. That didn't make sense. You know what I mean? He's still got a lot to there's still a lot of juice to squeeze out of that fruit. It don't matter. But I mean, I do think that he wanted to keep it secret because he comes from things of the angle of always having the upper hand, always having the advantage. It's like Littlefinger says, knowledge is power. Why would he want other people to know that Viserys is sick? Like, he can't. Otto's a narcissist. You can't isolate somebody when there might be other people out there that are like, oh my god, you're sick, how can I help you? Anyway, I think it was a selfish move rather than like him wanting to poison Viserys or something.
So I do think later in the text it is implied that the Greens or the High Towers, I don't know if Sir Otto in general, are it's implied the Maester is not adequate, because there's a situation that happens where another Maester is brought in from Dragonstone and the situation's fixed by the other Maester.
I completely agree.
Maester Melos or whatever Maester was there under Viserys's care was likely not doing the best he could to keep him.
Yeah, because he said, oh, let's leech it. How was leeching it gonna help, bro? It's a cut.
I love how Viserys is like, it's getting smaller, yes? And they're like, ooh, about that.
Really, no. Oh, I actually want to bring up with I believe it was on that podcast I had mentioned earlier, Ryan Condal had brought up Aenys and Maegor, and how obviously this isn't coming that far off the heels of their reigns. And the reason why Maegor was kind of able to usurp his nephew was because of that appearance of being weak that Aenys has. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why they want to kind of keep that a secret, because as Damon pointed out, Viserys is weak. A lot of people know he's weak. People feed off of his weakness, especially his council members. So I guess maybe not letting that, like, oh, he's getting cut up by the throne out would probably make more people believe that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And because they don't want it to get out, they don't want rumors starting, the king is sick. They already think the king is weak. But that's another point as to like Damon. Yeah, Damon could fucking take King's Landing right now if he wanted to with Caraxes. Balerian's dead. Viserys is weak. So if Otto just could look and see, like, if he wanted the throne, he would take it from his brother.
Not to mention with the City Watch.
Yeah, with the City Watch, Caraxes, and then Corlys Valerian's like in his pocket. Corlys Valerian's in his pocket.
And Beesbury.
So he could have easily taken the throne if that's what he wanted.
But he loves his brother, and he's not a kinslayer.
Can we talk about that scene where they were talking about the succession after Aemma died? Yeah. And
That scene,
Damon
can I just
watching
say-
from behind. No, Damon watching.
I love that. I love
behind
it.
the scenes is his most Scorpio shit I've ever seen. I'm sorry, he's big Scorpio. Anyway, I had a hard time because every time that I watched the episode, I went back and forth in a mere matter of seconds, like multiple times. When Viserys said something about like Damon doesn't even want the Iron Throne, he doesn't have the patience for the Iron Throne. Damon smiled. And I don't know if Damon was smiling because he was just like, oh, me and my brother, you know, he was agreeing, or if he thought it was funny because he's like, I do want the Iron Throne. But like my friend said, I don't think he'd ever kill his brother for it. I think he wants it, but I think he loves his brother.
Yeah.
I definitely
agree
could see
with
that. I also
And
thought
I
it
think
was,
he was laughing. Oh, go ahead.
no, you finish. You finish. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I do think he smiled because he knows it's true. Like he knows it's true that he doesn't want the throne, and he's hearing his brother take up for him when he's not there, and I think that also pleases him as well.
I agree. I also thought it was funny because he's a messy bitch that he was able to kind of eavesdrop on that. But I also thought it was like, obviously, this is major Sir Otto Hightower machinations here. The fact that they're having this conversation, which seems like it's the same day as the funeral, is so distasteful on so many levels.
And it was Otto that called that council.
Yeah, Otto's one who called it. And the fact that Viserys was like, I just literally just, my baby and my wife literally just died. Are we really having this conversation right now?
Can we
Like
talk
their
about
bodies
Chloe's
just
tweet?
became freaking ash and we're really talking about this. Like
Can we talk about Chloe's tweet when he said basically they were crows coming to feast on the corpses of his, and so Chloe posted the meme of Leo pointing at the TV being like, he said it, a feast for crows. But no, there was a lot going on in that scene, and you know, I feel bad for Corlys because I think Otto like kind of sleeps on Corlys quite a bit, which we all know that's going to change sooner than later. But Corlys did put in for Damon. Like, he has an heir. It's Damon Targaryen. And then when Viserys is like, well, I'm not going to choose between my daughter and, you know, and my brother, Corlys was like, all right, you have other options. My wife. My son. And then Otto's like, like Otto came for his throat, accusing him of like, oh yeah, so now you want to say there are other options, and he got like, Otto has been, even when Damon came for his wife, Otto's been like very, very chill. But the closest we've seen to Otto kind of losing his cool was when he was talking to Corlys, because Otto had plans for. Otto had his own little plans. Yeah, he named Rhaenyra, but I think all along he felt like that could be undone.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that as well, but I also think the thing with Rhaenyra is where Alicent and Rhaenyra are close at this time, that's still a way for him to keep power through his daughter. Like, oh, well, I mean, let's say Rhaenyra does take the throne and my daughter is still very close friends with her.
Mm-hmm.
I can still maybe be on the council or at least like manipulate my daughter. I think the thing with Otto, and Damon pointed out too, he's a second son. So he's never going to be Lord of the Hightower. Him being Hand of the King is the most power he will ever get. Right. So he seems like the type that is very afraid to lose that power and that grip on it. So when Corlys brings up, oh, we got other options, I think for him, he's like, oh, no, because that other option means I lose my power, and that's not happening, pal. It's kind of.
Do you think he always knew there was no way that Rhaenyra would marry Gawain? So he used. I think he kind of always banked on Aemma dying in childbirth in one way or another because of all the miscarriages, all that other stuff. And Alicent was so young and he jumped on it so soon. I think he always kind of banked on Aemma passing away in childbirth in one way or another. because at no point even in the books, at no point is Gawain brought forward as a suitor for Rhaena or Rhaenyra's. And I think a huge part of that is because he's the son of a second son.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have been a suitable enough match and everyone knew it. Whereas if you push, you just wait till the queen dies and you push your daughter off on the king. But in the meantime, you ingratiate your daughter to the king's daughter. Yeah, it ensures a lot of power.
It's all a big Game of Thrones. It's all a game. It's all chess pieces moving around. But I think you're right. And I think like the council, like in Fire and Blood, I think the council's kind of like upset. Like the Otto Hightower is getting above himself, wanting his daughter to marry the king.
Agreed. And I think somebody brought it up on Twitter because I had mentioned it. I thought it was weird that they aged Lena down and made her appear to be younger than Rhaenyra, when indeed she's actually older than Rhaenyra, but like 4 or 5 years. And somebody brought up the point that maybe they did that on purpose so that when being presented with the option of Lena, for him to say, oh, she's too young, it makes it a little bit more obvious since they did age down Alicent. And I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
Even though I would have rather them kept it, because then it kind of gives that Olenna Tyrell like, oh, I just got lost on my way to Luthor's room that night before he was supposed to say something to my sister to marry her.
About the scene where she actually shows up to the bedchambers, like she seems terrified. And I think it goes along with the theme of men making women do things that absolutely goddamn terrify them. Like her voice was shaking the whole time. She didn't want to be there, which I think what they're going to end up doing with that is, in the books, I kind of wondered to myself, like, okay, is there a possibility that she might have loved Viserys? But I think the direction that the show is going to go is that it was something that was forced on her the whole time.
I think it was forced on her, but I think they will have some shared bonds because it does seem like they both actually really like history.
Yeah, but he's like
no, but like I'm saying, like that's at least like a shared interest. I'm not sure if she's into making models of Valeria,
right? But he's an old dude with infected boo-boos all over his body.
No, agreed. But I'm saying like at least they can have like some conversations about some books. I don't know. They have a book club. Maybe they're in GrayArea's Discord server and they're part of book club. See, you didn't even think about it, Alisha.
Did y'all know that? Real quick, I just want to throw this out there. Did y'all know that House of the Dragon brought in 10 million viewers? HBO's biggest series premiere in the HBO history. And that 10 million viewers were just in the US. They don't even have the outside the US numbers yet.
And y'all said it was dead. Look at you guys. Foolish.
It's a very small percent of the fandom that like wants it to fail. It's a very small percent. It's not gonna fail, baby.
I think it's weird to like want something to fail, unless you're in my shoes and really think that Euphoria needs to get canceled. Just
bye, Alisha. Anyways, anyway,
is Mandy coming back?
I texted her. I texted her.
Mandy would be on my side, so I don't know why you're trying to bring her in right now.
About Euphoria's cancellation?
It's the one thing that I won't just let people enjoy.
It's okay. We still love you.
What else? We still love you. But actually, speaking of, I actually won't be surprised if we get a renewal announcement. So like a season 2 renewal, like within the next week. Like I think by next week, by episode 2, I think we're going to get a renewal for season 2. Like I'm calling it now. It's going to happen. By next Monday, we're going to get that season 2 announcement that it's greenlit. Saying
all right, got it.
Here first, but
Powers of Pisces.
Yeah, my Pisces, my third eye. Actually, I want to get a few more of these super chats because I say we've been going for almost 2 hours now, and it's getting late. I just want to say another quick thank you to Saturnine, Daenerys, and Boat Baby live in my heart. Again, if you want our thoughts on Daenerys, please. See if I actually went through the chat. Her phone died.
Oh, I thought we knew that.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
She like put it in the chat immediately.
Oh, see, I've been frozen on the same spot so I
Yeah.
don't lose any of the other super chats because I just want to make
And
sure
then
we,
she actually messaged us
everybody.
in our message, like our text message thread,
Oh, that'd
why
be
she still
helpful.
hasn't logged on. So
Okay,
yeah.
I probably should have checked my phone. My bad, guys. I'm sorry, Mandy. My bad. I love you. I love you so much. I love you. Let's see. I think we actually might be caught up on super chats. Actually, hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm just. Oh, nope. Just kidding. Hey, Rhaenyra is not a hoe. Rhaenyra is a lovely young woman with agency.
Does that say hoe?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
hoe, like a fancy way though. Hoe.
What
It's like
the
French.
Why didn't you
It's
just
French.
say HOE? She for
Because he's fan or
free.
they're fancy.
They're fancy or they're French. I don't know. Maybe they're fancy and French. But,
Of course.
I would start typing it like that.
Also want to say a quick thank you to Michael David. You're right about Damon having deep feelings. Right after he was kicked out of King's Landing and Viserys really wounded him, the next scene is Damon hugging his ADHD dragon like he needs affection. Oh, it's a support animal.
Oh.
Emotional support dragon. That's exactly
it blows my mind that they didn't know that Damon was back in the city, because Caraxes is a whole ass dragon just hanging out in the Dragon Pit.
Well, they said he arrived at dawn. So, right, but she should have saw him because she was at the Dragon Pit earlier.
Well, I don't know if she was in the Thunderdome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thunderdome.
Dimsdale, Dimmadome. Oh, we are caught up on super chats. Ooh, we did it.
We did it.
We're here. With that being said, I think we should probably start. I'm trying to think. What have we not? Oh,
A lot.
A lot.
The prophecy for one.
Laena and Laenor. Okay. I just want to briefly say, Laenor, excited to see them. I love them holding hands there in the tournament. That's my
They're
thought.
so cute.
So
they had
cute.
such big eyes. And mom and dad are so sassy.
Yeah. I think they're going to have a really nice, loving sibling relationship, and I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah.
So,
Prophecy.
Prophecy. The Song of Ice and Fire that I was right about. Yes.
So the prophecy is basically that Aegon foresaw the doom of man the same way that Daenerys the Dreamer saw the doom of women. Okay, read it.
Yeah, again, just gonna quickly shout out. I got that video that's coming out tomorrow. So, subscribe to I Eat Zebra at some point. Thanks. But yeah, so the quote goes as followed. I'm holding on because I'm still scrolling for it. Just okay. All right. So, but as Daenerys foresaw the end of Valyria, Aegon foresaw the end of men. 'Tis to begin with a terrible winter bursting out of the distant north. Aegon saw absolute darkness riding on the winds, and whatever dwells within will destroy the world of the living. When this great winter comes, Rhaenyra, all of Westeros must stand against it. And if the world of men is to survive it, a Targaryen must be seated on the Iron Throne, a king or queen strong enough to unite the realm against the cold and the dark. Aegon called his dream the Song of Ice and Fire.
May I talk about my theory now?
Yeah, because
I don't got much. The two big things that tipped me off. I remember I was back in 2015, I was rewatching Hardhome. And after Tormund beat the total shit out of Rattleshirt, which was amazing. It was very Family Guy, went on forever and ever, but I was here for it. He said something about how it took Mance a really long time to get all of the free folk together. So it was like, So I went and I was reading the books, and I came to realize that around the time that Mance started trying to get the free folk together, because they had realized that the others had awoken, was around the time that Robert killed Rhaegar and King's Landing was sacked. So it was like, So that's what kind of birthed it. But then I was thinking about Aegon the Conqueror, that, I thought about how the White Walk or the others returned at the end of the Targaryen reign. So I thought about the beginning of the Targaryen reign. And it's so weird to me that Aegon, when he came to Westeros, he was so cutthroat about conquering and yet so lax once people bent the knee. He was not afraid to obliterate people off the map. Think about Heron, Black Heron. He just completely like, there weren't even really negotiations back and forth. Heron was just like, yeah, you can't burn stones. And Aegon's like, okay, cool. So when the sun sets, I'm gonna rock your shit, dude. Okay, bye. You know, so he was so adamant about uniting all of, you know, like gaining control over all of this. But then once he became king, he was so lax. And that was weird to me, because a man that goes out of his way to absolutely steamroll everything in his path, stereotypically, you would think that he'd be a micromanager, really controlling. He might want more power. But once he had it, he was like, yeah, no, keep your titles, accept your lords now, keep your lands, keep your vassals. I have the final say on things. You do have to pay taxes to me, but like, it is what it is, you know? And I thought that was weird. And so it occurred to me, he did it for a reason. He did it for a huge reason down the road. He needed Westeros to be united. So to see the show confirm it, one of the reasons I'm so smug is because I had a few people kind of tell me it was a silly theory. So
Congratulations.
I'm not going to say F you guys, but shame on you.
I will. Shame. Yeah, I literally have a whole ass video about my thoughts on this prophecy, so y'all can just check that out tomorrow. Gray.
So when I heard the prophecy, I was super excited. But one part I want you guys to like go back and watch the prophecy. When he's saying it, he says it's been passed down from king to heir, king to heir. He grabs the cat's paw dagger that's on his waist. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that dagger was always important. If Aegon saw that dagger in his prophecy, designed it, whatever, in his dream, designed it. Because the last person that we know that had the dagger was Robert Baratheon. He could have totally got it off of the Mad King's body. So it could have been the Mad King's dagger. We know that Joffrey steals it and gives it to the guy to kill Bran because he's completely fucking stupid. Because he's completely dumb. So I wonder about the dagger, because just because we see Arya use it stupidly and like, all right, I get it, but the dagger could still be very important in a Song of Ice and Fire. It might not go down just like that, because we don't even know if there's a Night King in the book. I believe that there is a great other, like a one person that rules over the others. But when he grabbed that dagger, they zoomed in on it, and I was just like, oh shit. And there's a clip, like a preview in the trailer. I think it's where they heat the sword up, and you see the word, like, there's like ancient runes on it, like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings.
Do you ever think about too how by the time my chair be like that too, like it's passed down from king to heir. So I kind of wonder if Rhaenyra ever told, I think it's Jace, when he was her. Oh, because because by the time she became queen, she just had Aegon, correct? Aegon the Third. I kind of wonder if she told him. So even if the Targaryen kings still pass it on from one person to another, at the time of the fall of the Targaryen dynasty, Rhaegar was the heir.
So
Rhaegar, at the time of the fall of the Targaryen dynasty, Joffrey was not born.
No. I mean, Rhaenyra would have told Joffrey. That's who she would have told.
Right. But then
Oh,
Yeah,
after
that's true.
Joffrey's death, I
After
think we
Joffrey's
just saw
death, it
Aegon
left
though.
Aegon, who was about 10 years old or so. But I'm saying, even if the Targaryens still kept it going, it would have been lost after the fall of their dynasty because the heir was Rhaegar Targaryen. Who knew? Who knew? In his own
Or
way.
was it? Or was it? Check
Well,
out my
he didn't
video
tell-
tomorrow.
Well, it's not
So
like
basically the
it's
secret
not like
died in
Rhaegar told
Aerys and
fetus
Rhaegar.
John. You know.
Well, slight spoiler for my video. The House of the Undying. He has a song. His song is the Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh,
But
right.
Danny
Rhaegar knew.
does.
But they
But
say he read it in a
Danny-
book.
Did he read it in a book?
They said
Did he
one day he
Or
read
did he
something in
read
a
it
book
in
and he
the
came
No,
out
they
and
just
was
because
like,
they never talked about what he read. They just figured he read it in a book.
Or was he reading a correspondence from a certain uncle? Or maybe the same thing that Rhaenyra is reading in one of the previews for episodes.
well, didn't they write it down? Isn't it in the Jade Compendium? Because I think I remember something about the Jade Compendium.
Yeah, it's there. I go into it in that video I've been mentioning this whole time, but it's long. It's like it's in there. But yeah, I do think I think through the House of the Undying, that's his way of like essentially that information being passed to Danny as that next heir.
Linda made a good point, or no, not Linda. Jackie, who is it? Jackie C, I think. I lost the comment.
That girl, watch my video tomorrow. Watch my video tomorrow. That's all I gotta say is watch that video tomorrow.
Where'd the
yeah.
comment go? But it was basically that I can't find it.
Oh, is it the Joff? Oh, no, and that's why the pact
right, yeah, Jace.
That was Jace.
Jace knew, and Jace made a pact to Ice and Fire. But I also think that Aegon told Torrhen, or Torrhen Stark already knew, and that's why he bent the knee to Aegon.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that before.
Oh. Well, I think he bent the knee to Aegon because he knew he was about to get his shit rocked.
Well, but we see the weirwood dream with the 3 weirwood arrows where they're gonna kill the dragon. They're gonna try to kill the dragon. So I don't see like Jon. I don't care how Game of Thrones season 7 went and season 8 went and how it ended. I do think Jon and Daenerys are gonna become allies in A Song of Ice and Fire. Well, yeah. And I think Jon, the only way that Jon is gonna serve Daenerys is if it's for the better of the realm, and I feel like Torrhen is kind of the same way, but it could also be because he's going to get a shit rocked. But I think it's parallel.
I will say, I mean, he's kind of dead right now, unfortunately. I did want to say another quick thank you to Emily Christina. What do you think was the reason they put those stones in the box at the council meetings? I have no idea. I'll be honest.
I don't understand.
Maybe we'll find out sooner than later. I just think I thought they were like a voting technique, or maybe like if you want to like say something like, oh, we're gonna pass the marker, now it's your turn to talk. I don't really know.
And maybe if they take your rock away, you can't say shit.
Oh,
like
can we
opposite of a talking rock?
Let's take Otto's rock away.
Yeah, Otto no longer has a rock because we don't want him to talk anymore. But I'll say we've been going for quite some time. Any final thoughts or predictions going into next week?
No, because it seems like they're going to jump around with time so much. I think they're going to do it tastefully, but I have no idea what next week will entail.
My final thoughts is, I think, and you guys can quote me on this, take a screen cap of it, House of the Dragon is going to be more successful than Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Ryan and their team's like love and appreciation for the work. He actually said that I guess for all the writers, they were all required to read Fire and Blood. So every writer on staff, it was required to read the book. So
required reading? I love that.
It was optional for the actors, but for the writers, it was non-negotiable. You had to read it. And that alone just makes me super happy.
Well, it's not like it was like it's gotta take 8 hours of your life total.
Yeah,
max.
It's on Audible. Get Audible. Plus play. You can read it there. But I did want to say a quick Another shout out. Thank you again, Michael David. If Aegon the Conqueror was the first to have that prophecy, why did the Targs have a Valyrian steel crown? Did other Targaryens know before the doom? I don't know if they knew it was able to defeat the others. I just think that was just a cool thing that they learned in the forges. I could not think of the word. We're like blacksmiths. I'm sorry. Valyrian blacksmiths probably would just, messing with some shit.
Yeah, I don't even think they couldn't make Valyrian steel anymore. And I think it's like one smith in Game of Thrones that can rework Valyrian steel. So
Tobo Mott, something like that.
Yeah, Tobo.
There are 3 in the known world, is what the show said. And he invited 1, he being Tywin. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy too. All right. So yeah, I think that's about does it for tonight. You guys can check us here next week, same time, same place. Don't forget, like, subscribe. There's a lot of you guys here tonight, so please hit that like button, share,
Yeah, tell your friends about us.
Exactly. Come back. We're welcome. You guys are welcome anytime. You guys can check out some of our old videos for like our preseason. You can watch some of our Winds of Winter predictions, because I know some of you guys have been asking about like our opinions on Dany and stuff like that. So, check that out on the playlist. GrayArea dropped a great breakdown video, so watch that after this if you haven't seen it already.
Yes, if you didn't watch my breakdown, go watch it. I worked so hard on it for you guys.
Yes, she did. She busting her butt to give you guys the best breakdown there is out there of this episode. So watch it. And yeah, go to my channel. I Eat Zebra. I have that prophecy video I have to finish up after this stream. So hopefully it's up for you guys by tomorrow morning, latest tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. But anyways, Alisha, any housekeeping, any thoughts, any announcements?
I'm so tired.
And she's Alisha. And with that being said, we love you guys. Have a great night. See you later. See you next time. All that good stuff. So yeah.
Bye.